Today is Thursday, April 3, 2025. My name is Princess Kamara. So quickly, let's run forward. It's a break. To all of you watching us, kindly share the video, leave your comments, and definitely we're going to read them out as well. So quickly, let's run forward this short break. And when we come back, we bring you details of the local dailies right on Kear Radio, FM 95.9. Okay, thanks for rejoining on the program at the Local Dailies. This program highlights the front and back pages of the paper, including the editorial, equally talking points that affords you the opportunity to have a say as well. And so, folks, this morning, our first stop is the New Dawn, truly independent. And this is our volume 15 and number 049. And this paper is sold for 50 Liberian dollars. And at the front page of this paper, the New Dawn, a truly independent, a reality in today's Liberia. Poverty versus wealth. And you have the photograph of the two vehicles purchased by the president, along with a school building, unfinished building. Yeah, it looked more like a school building because you have armchair seat right next to them. Right at the front page of the New Dawn, poverty versus wealth. LAA blames a power outage on breads. Wow. Liberia Airport Authority blames a power outage on breads. So that's the front page of the New Dawn. Truly independent, and this paper is sold for 50 Liberian dollars. So we move quickly at the back page. Citizens in high spirit over AML expansion. Estella Meta Liberia expansion. Citizens in high spirit over AML, that's Estella Meta Liberia expansion. And you have the photograph of the company right at the back page of the New Dawn. Truly independent. So quickly, we run for the editorial, the New Dawn. Supreme Court ruling should change the chaotic trend in Liberia. The Supreme Court of Liberia recently described the ongoing leadership crisis in the House of Representatives as a chaotic trend in Liberia that needs to be reversed. We couldn't have agreed with the High Court any better. Despite the presence of the legitimate Speaker of the House, a group of lawmakers are referring to themselves as majority bloc gathered and elected Masorado County District 11 Representative Richard Nangwekong of the ruling Unity Party as Speaker. So folks, that's the editorial for the New Dawn, truly independent. And this paper is sold for just 50 Liberian dollars. And our next stop right here is the New Democrat, volume 30, number 145, the New Democrat. Thursday, April 3, 2025. And this paper is sold for 40 Liberian dollars. Yeah, you can get a copy of this one. And right at the front page, War and Economic Crimes Code faces uncertainty War and Economic Crimes Court faces uncertainty. Also at the front page, LTA and CCL address a fiber optic cable dilemma. LTA and CCL address a fiber optic cable dilemma. And you got the photograph right here. Okay, we're still moving right at the back page of the New Democrat. Volume 30, number 145, and this paper is sold for 50. That's 40 Liberian dollars. Impersonating a doctor faces a manslaughter charge. Impersonating a doctor faces a manslaughter charge. And you got the photograph of Dr. Sam Wallaby of the Lofa Medic Service Clinic, Nizo Jakarta, right at the back page of the Democrat. So quickly, we move to our next stop in profile dating. In all that we do and write, in all that we report, come what may and no matter what, Liberia first. In profile dating, volume 17, number 91. In profile, Thursday, April 3, 2025. And this paper is sold for 40 Liberian dollars. At the front page of the In Profile Daily, a kindness in court for multiple crimes. Pageant status trap. And you have the photograph of Miss Liberia, Miss Kindness Wilson, right at the front page. A motorcyclist to get back in the street. A motorcyclist to get back in the street. The government sets a new, simple condition. Also, you have the photographs of the motorcyclists right at the front page of the In Profile Daily. Center Street Graveyard, Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency arrests notorious drug dealer. Tuning Bear, a photograph is right at the front page of the In Profile Daily. A mere joke, a Senator Cyrus describes security sector budget. A mere joke. You have the photograph of the lo-fi lawmaker right at the front page of the In Profile Daily. And we move at the back page. Enfield Africa CDC launched Liberia event-based surveillance guideline. Enfield Africa CDC launched Liberia event-based surveillance guideline. The press disrupt power supply at LAA. You have the photograph of officials from the Liberia Airport Authority. A mother allegedly stabs a daughter for peanuts. Wow. A mother allegedly stabs a daughter for peanuts. The photograph of the mother is right here. A government trust over New Day constructed a fisheries college to a government turns over a New Day constructed a fisheries college to University of Liberia. Jehovah Witnesses are to commemorate a Lord's Supper on April 12th. The photograph of the JW, that's a JW's Kingdom Hall in Liberia. It's right at the back page of the In Profile Daily. Still on the back page, MRU establishes joint border security units. MRU established a joint border security units. And you have the photograph of officials representing different countries in connection out to the border. So quickly to the editorial. Nearing 2023, a CDC disjointed opposition and the electorate. You have the photograph of Boakai, Lawrence Kanga, Cassell, Alexander Cummins, and Benoni, that's Ure, as well as our former president, George William. So folks, that's it for the In Profile Daily. We moved out to the news, the nation's news since 1989. And this is volume 35 and number 237. And this paper is sold for 40 Liberian dollars. And at the front page of the news, a looming crisis in Southeast amid increasing influx of Burkinabes variants. A looming crisis in Southeast amid increasing influx of Burkinabes variants. And you have the photograph of some of those Burkinabes variants right at the front page of the news, the nation's news since 1989. Still at the front page, actions are taken to avert power outage at RRA. Actions taken to avert power outage at RRA. LEC executive tells senators. You have the photograph. Executives of the Liberia Electricity Corporation and that of the Liberia Airport Authority before the Liberian Senate. And we move out to the back page of the news, the nation's news since 1989. A volume 35, a number 235. This paper is sold for 40 Liberian dollars. Senator Moy partners with Doctors Without Borders. Senator Moy partners with Doctors Without Borders to provide a medical, a surgical, health care to Bong citizens. That's at the back page of the news. You have the photograph. Of the Bond County Legislative Caucus, Senator Prince Kamara. with partners. Still at the back page, Firestone workers get huge retirement benefits. Firestone workers get huge retirement benefits. And you have the photograph of Labor Minister Cooper Crowd along with the Firestone Plantation Company, Liberia Labor Congress official. Still at the back page of the news, Maserati Road Project inspection begins. Minister Giddens leads delegation. Maserati County Project inspection begins. Minister Giddens leads delegation. Islamic group observes Aquas Day here. NACSUL NASU calls for speedy and fair trial for businesswoman Marie Nelno. Australia, our next stop this morning. Is the Variety newspaper, volume 2, number 06. And this paper is sold for $40 Liberian. Variety News, Wednesday, April. Sorry, Thursday, April 3, 2025. Access a seizure, a debt court issues a writ against a majority bloc speaker. You have the photograph of the majority bloc speaker, Richard Cohn, along with his wife. Increasing revenue oversight. So quickly, we move to the back page of the Variety News, sold for $40 Liberian. A defendant in capital acts on attack crossing court. You got the picture of Stevie and Bro right at the back page. Government revokes accreditation of AFFA. That's the American for African Adoptions. Government revokes accreditation. Still at the back page, MDR files complaint against 2 candidates. You have the photograph of Madam Edith Ogonglowell. Right here. Ability clarifies a cool's explosion romance. We move out to our next stop this morning on the program, Local Dailies. The front page, Africa. Volume 18, number 062, number 62. Thursday, April 3, 2025. And this paper is sold for $40 Liberian. Just $40 you can get this paper. Front page, Africa. And right at the front page, birds are feeding from nearby dump sites. Disrupt power supply at Roberts International Airport. Liberia Airport Authority informs a Senate committee blaming the ravens. You have the photograph of the Roberts International Airport right at the front page, along with officials from the and that of the Liberia Electricity Corporation. Still at the front page, gains and setbacks for women in new government as women renew push for gender quota Lord before 2029 elections. Follow Sierra Leone leads. Follow Sierra Leone's lead. You have the photograph of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. A capture right here. Gains and setbacks for women in new government as women renew push for gender quota Lord before 2029 elections. And we move to the back page of the front page Africa. Alofa counted to break ground for modern sports stadium on April 8, 2025. Alofa County to break ground for modern sports stadium on April 8, 2025. And we move to the editorial of the front page Africa. Supreme Court must deliver clear ruling. House must comply. The ongoing leadership crisis within the Liberia's House of Representatives has underscored the urgent need for definite judicial intervention and unwavering adherence to constitutional mandates. The Supreme Court stands at a crucial juncture where its clarity are paramount to resolving this impasse and upholding the integrity of our democratic institutions. And that's the editorial for the paper on front page Africa. And we moved to our next stop this morning. The Inquirer, volume 34, number 54, Thursday, April 3, 2025. And this paper is sold for just 40 Liberian dollars. The Inquirer. And right at the front page of the Inquirer, Internal Affairs places year-long suspension on Bush schools. Internal Affairs places year-long suspension on Bush schools. You have the photograph of the Internal Affairs Minister, Princess Yumani, and some traditional chiefs right at the front page of the Inquirer newspaper. Still at the front page, a garbage swallows a red light commercial hope again as marketers cry for urgent sanitation intervention. Garbage swallows a red light commercial hope again as marketers cry for urgent sanitation intervention. You have the photograph of marketers trading in field right at the front page of the Inquirer. Local breaks ground for Kadesh in Maryland. And Local is the Liberia Cooperative Standard Education School System. It breaks ground for college in Maryland. You have the photograph of officials from Local along with the blueprint of the college to be built in Maryland. A CSNL recommends NPA bolds this measure. SATs, a mismanagement disaster, and others. The CSNL is the Civil Society Network of Liberia. Recommends NPA oppose this measure, SATs, mismanagement, disasters, and other. And we moved out to the back page of the Inquirer. LEC committed to reliable power supplied at RRA. Also, the photograph of the Roberts International Airport is captured right at the back page. Power struggle among local administrators in Maigibi. Power struggle among local administrators in Maigibi. A beauty model, a kindness Wilson, arrested over disorderly charges. A beauty model, a kindness Wilson, arrested over disorderly charges. And you have the photograph of Miss Liberia, Miss Kindness Wilson. Police intensifies traffic regulation. Police intensifies traffic regulation. So quickly, we move to the editorial of the Inquirer. A few simple measures to aid community safety. A few simple measures to aid community safety. A heart-wrenching, a tragic struck a Beacon City over the weekend when 4-year-old Lawrence Dine lost his life after falling into an uncovered pit latrine. Later, Lawrence had been playing in the rain on the morning of March 29, 2025, before his lifeless body that was later found in a 3-foot deep water-filled pit that had been left uncovered for 4 days. So that's the editorial for the Inquirer newspapers. And we move forward to our last stop. The Daily Observer. The Daily Observer, a newspaper, volume 25, number 56. And this paper is sold for just $40 Liberian. Then at the front page of this paper, our talking point. RIA power outage caused by bird struck. LAA's explanation leaves more questions than answers. Interesting. And still at the front page, illegal immigrants encroach on Liberia's forests for mining and farming. NGO coalition calls for immediate government intervention. Still at the front page of the Daily Observer, LTA takes proactive measure to prevent internet disruptions. LTA takes proactive measure to prevent internet disruptions. No regrets endorsing Edith Gonglowe, senatorial bid, LPP political leader, Councillor Tiawan, as Gonglo says. No regrets endorsing Edith Gonglowe, senatorial bid. And you have the photograph of the LPP political leader, Councillor Tiawan, as Gonglo, right at the front page of the Daily Observer newspaper. And quickly we move at the back page. LEC committed to providing reliable power at RRA. NEC SATS MDR Idibwe 1K Fangalo. And you have the photograph of a representative Salmon Koga, a former superintendent Edith Gonglowe, and a Fangalo 1K. That's it right here. So quickly. Let's bring you our talking point from the Daily Observer newspaper. RIA power outage caused by breast track. LAA's explanation leads more questions than answer. Officials from the Liberia Airport Authority, that's LAA, and the Liberia Electricity Corporation claimed that a breast track damaged an insulator connected to a transformer, which caused a temporary loss of power to the terminal. We go in depth with this talking point. When Liberia's only international airport, the Roberts International Airport, plugged into darkness on March 30, 2025, the public reaction was swift and furious. Videos of confused passengers navigating the terminal with mobile phone flashlights went viral online, prompting widespread and outage. The government scrambled to explain what had gone wrong. Commenting reporting in the public hearing convened by the Senate's Joint Committees on Transport and Hydrocarbon and Energy. Their officials from the Liberia Airport Authority and the Liberia Electricity Corporation laid the blame on a bird. Specifically, they claimed that a breast track damaged an insulator connected to a transformer, which caused a temporary loss to the terminal. While power was reportedly restored by the early hours of the next day, the official explanations has raised more questions than it has answered, particularly among aviation professionals, engineers, and infrastructure analysts, who, for lack of clarity and evidence from authorities, found the claim suspect. Breast tracks are a well-documented hazard in global aviation. They typically involved breast colliding with aircraft, often during takeoff or landing. According to the United States Federation Administration, over 61% of breast tracks occur during aircraft arrival phases, with another 36% happening during departures. These incidents generally take place at or before 500 feet above ground levels. Within our near the airport environment, however, what is far less common and is documented is a break causing physical damage to power infrastructure on the ground significant enough to shut down terminal operations. There are occasional incidents where breaks may cause outages, but it is extremely rare, especially at night when bread actively decreases significantly, said an aviation infrastructure analyst who spoke to the Observer on condition of anonymity. And in most well-run airports, critical infrastructure like transformers are housed in protected areas, specifically to avoid these kinds of disruptions. According to the LEC's managing director, Thomas Ogwonglowan, the power disruption was triggered by a breast track that damaged an insulator connected to a transformer serving the terminal building. Ogwonglowan says the incident led to a temporary loss of power to the terminal, prompting a swift backup generators to keep critical airport functions operational. He added that about 1 p.m. the following morning, power had been fully restored, and by 4 p.m., a replacement transformer had been installed. The Liberia Airport Authority emphasized that the power loss did not affect the runway or aircraft navigation systems. The runway lights and essential services continue without interruption, says Jonathan Ethnos, Deputy Director for Technical Services at Liberia Airport Authority. He reaffirmed the authority's commitment to ensuring operational continuity during emergencies. Breast tracks are known to occur in aviation, usually involving aircraft during takeoff or landing. Data from international airports, aviation bodies such as the U.S. Federation of Aviation Administration indicate that most breast tracks occur at low altitudes in the vicinity of airports. However, reports of breast tracks are damaging ground-based electrical infrastructure, particularly at night when breath activity is lower, are uncommon. In Liberia, where there is limited public access to aviation safety records, it remains unclear how often wildlife-related incidents have interfered with airport power, says that's a power systems or equipment. During the hearing, senators questioned whether the response to the outage was adequate and what measures were being put in place to prevent future incidents. The hearing was prompted by a directive from President pro tempore Yombly Kanga Lawrence, who termed the incident a matter of national importance. Given Liberia's ongoing efforts to improve its global connectivity and tourism appeal, meanwhile, LAA officials outlined several steps they are taking to improve the resilience of RIA's power infrastructure. These include the procurement of a new 3 megawatt transformer to reduce the national grid and the integration of our solar energy systems to provide a renewable backup source for the terminal. According to the LAA, backup generator capacity has already been increased to 2.5 megawatts, enough to power the terminal, control tower, and VIP lodges in the event of a grid failure. Acting LAA Managing Director Gerald Mentco says the March 30 incident has provided important lessons. We are committed to ensuring that Roberts International Airport remains a critical hub for Liberia's development and global connectivity, he says. We are taking significant steps to further improve the airport's power system. The LAA also stated that the terminal's temporary blackout had been put in place and in the media as a complete airport-wide failure. Officials confirmed that while the terminal did experience a power outage, the runway remained fully functional and aircraft operations were not at risk. They noted that the flight which arrived during the outage, Brussels Airlines, landed safely and was never in danger, despite confusion among some passengers and members of the public. Senators Edwin M. Snow and Abraham Darius DeLong both commended the quick response by LAA and LEC, but stressed that the need for long-term solutions to prevent similar concurrences. Senator DeLong noted that while the actions taken were commendable, the incident highlighted critical vulnerabilities in the airport's infrastructure that requires sustained investment and oversight. In addition to improving backup system, LEC and LAA says they are assessing environmental factors around the airport, including bird habitats and vegetation management to reduce future risks. Measures that include declaring areas around transformers and other electrical equipment to deter warfare and implementing monitoring protocols to better manage potential hazards. As Liberia seeks to reposition itself as a tourism destination under President Joseph Boaká's arrest agenda, ensuring the reliability of its international gateway is seen as essential. The RIA is the first point of contact for most international travelers entering Liberia, and public confidence in its operations remains a key factor in the country's overall image and that's image. While the cause of the March 30 outage has been officially attributed to a breast track, many observers continue to call for the LAA and LEC to release more documentation or evidence related to the incident to maintain transparency and trust. As the Senate continues its review, the broader focus remains on ensuring that Liberia's only international airport can meet the standards expected of a safe, modern, and professional managed facility. Well, folks, that's our talking point for today. You listen right here. You listen to the statements from the LAA, that's the Liberia Airport Authority, and that of the Liberia Electricity Corporation. Officials from the Liberia Airport Authority claim that a breast track and damage an insulator connected to a transformer, which led to a temporary loss of power to the terminal. Folks, what do you make of that statement? What do you make of those official statements admitting that the airport and surrounding communities are faced with garbage that birds usually come to eat from? Due to that, the birds will mess up everything at that end. If you were the President Joseph Newman Boaká, what action will you take on those officials at that end, the RIA and that of the LEC, after they have said that birds went and ate or damaged the insulator connecting to the transformer? What do you make of that statement on yesterday, folks? So quickly, let me read out the numbers to call: 0777 959 959 077 959 959. Let's hear from you quickly. What do you make of that statement? What do you make of that statement? Airport authority says the strike that damaged the insulator was due to the birds that usually sit from a nearby dump site. What do you make of that? Let's hear from you. The lines are open. Call us on 077 959 959. Let's hear from you. Call us on 0777 959 959. What do you make of such statement on yesterday? Officials from the Liberia Airport Authority stated that a breast track damaged an insulator connected to a transformer, which led to a temporary loss of power to the terminal. Let's hear from you. This is the Local Dailies right on Kear Radio, FM 95.9. The Local Dailies highlights the front and back pages of the papers, including the editorial. Equal equally talking points that affords you the opportunity. What do you make of such statement? Let's hear from you. The lines are open. 0777 959 959 0777 959 959. Let's hear from you, folks. What do you make of that? Officials admitting, yes, they admitted that the airport and surrounding communities are faced with garbage that birds usually come to eat from. Let's hear you this morning on Kear Radio, the Local Dailies. 077 959 959. What you're saying on this? Let's hear from you. A 0777 959 959. 0777 959 959. Let's hear from you. What do you make of that statement on yesterday? Officials from the Liberia Airport Authority and that of the Liberia Electricity Corporation claiming that a brush track damage insulator connected to a transformer, which led to a temporary loss of power to the terminal. What do you make of that? Call us on 0777 959 959. Let's hear from you. What do you make of that? What do you make of the statement admitting that the airport and surrounding communities are faced with garbage? Imagine. So quickly, let's hear from you. 0777 959 959. This is the program, the Local Dailies, right on Kear Radio, FM 95.9. What do you make of officials from the Liberia Airport statement? We've claimed that a brush track damaged the transformer, which led to a temporary loss of power to the terminal on Sunday evening. If you were the President Joseph Boakai, what action will you take on those officials? Let's hear from you. The lines are open. Call us on 0777 959 959. This is the program, the Local Dailies, right on Kear Radio. And Kamara says, among where young we Kamara are watching from Norway, Oslo. So quickly, let's run for this one. Hello, yeah. Morning. No, Princess. Morning. I'm okay. Your name, where you join us from? Okay.
Can you imagine where falling off power while all the country moving ahead where this country not serious? I call a problem. I thought the program rescue or the same condition of still moving. Yes, thank you. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for calling us. Yeah, keep the calls coming on 0777 959 959. Let's hear from you. Mungwe Yangbi Kamara says watching from Norway, Oslo. And you can do the same. We're going to read your comments. Just leave them. Thanks to all of you watching. This is the program Local Dailies right on Kear Radio FM 95.9. What do you make of the official statement? Breast track damage and that's insulator connected to a transformer. Let's hear from you. Keep the calls coming. 0777 959 959. What do you make of those statements? All of what the official said. What do you make of that? And we are also live on YouTube, all of our social media handles. And you can also follow us on Kear Radio FM 95.9, right on Facebook. Just type Kear Radio FM 95.9. What do you make of these statements coming from authorities at the Liberia Airport Authority? Brush track damage the transformer that led to a temporary loss of power on Sunday evening. What do you make of that? Let's keep the calls coming. 0777 959 959. This is the program of the Local Dailies right on Kear Radio. I am your presenter, Princess Kamara. The Local Dailies highlights the front and back pages of the papers, including the editorial, equally talking points that affords you the opportunity to have a say as well. The lines are open. What do you make of such a statement? Let's hear from you. 0777 959 959. Thanks to all of you watching. And this program comes on every day from Mondays to Friday, 10:30 to 11:30. At which time we highlight the front and back pages of the papers. What do you make of these statements from the Liberia Airport Authority and that of the Liberia Electricity Corporation? A breast track damage at the transformer. What do you make of that? Officials says that the airport and surrounding communities are faced with garbage that breads usually come to eat from. As a result, they damage the transformer. Or do you think the airport should be having garbages around it? What do you make of that at that particular end? If you were the president, President Joseph Boakai, what action will you take on those officials? Let's hear from you. Let's hear from you. on 0777 and 959 088 0982 719. Yeah, let's hear from you quickly. Shortly at 11:30, we call it a day right here. Let's hear from you. 088 0982 719. Let's hear from you. What do you make of that? So shortly, we run for a break. We come back. We call it a day right on the program. The Local Dailies on Kear Radio, FM 95.9. Thanks to all of you watching and those who follow. Do join me on tomorrow for the weekend edition of the program, the Local Dailies. My name is Princess Kamara, and it's Baba from Mind.